Howdy, I'm J.R. Stein. Most people are familiar with the movie The Wizard of Oz, which is based on a book of the same name by L. Frank Baum, published back in 1900. What isn't as well known, however, is that this book was only the first of a series of 14 Oz stories, and most of these wonderful stories have not been made into video. So for the past 4 years, Collective Development Incorporated and Thunder Toad Animation have been making a computer-animated movie about the 7th book in this series, The Patchwork Girl of Oz. The ruler of the magical land is now the fairy princess Ozma. Dorothy's been made a royal princess as well, and is a permanent resident of Oz. Our story begins with and centers on the adventures of a young munchkin boy named Ojo and his quest to correct the misfortunes that have fallen upon his poor Uncle Nunkie. So with great pleasure, let us embark on a journey back to this fabulous land once again and become part of his adventure.
Where's the butter, Uncle Nunkie?
Isn't
any butter? That's too bad. Unc, where's the jam then?
gone.
No jam either? And no cake, no jelly, and no apples? Nothing but bread?
All.
Where shall we go? I'm sure you must know, Unc. You must have traveled in your time, because ever since I could remember anything, we lived right here in this lonesome house, with the thick woods all around. All I ever seen of the great land of Oz is that view of the mountain, and that mountain at the north, where they say nobody lives.
One.
Oh yes, one family lives there. I've heard that's the crooked magician, whose name is Dr. Pip, and his wife Margaret. One year you told me about them. I think it took you a whole year, Unc, to say as much as I've said just about the crooked magician and his wife. They live high up on that mountain, and the good munchkin country, where the fruits and the flowers grow, is just the other side.
Yes.
Then let's go away and visit the munchkin country, and its jolly good-natured people. I'd love to get a sight of something besides the woods, Uncle Nunkie.
That evening, Unc sat quietly while Ojo slept. The very next morning, they set out and began a long walk to Dr. Pip's house. Ojo was well pleased. He was dreadfully tired of living all alone in the woods. At the foot of the mountain, the path divided. Uncle Nunkie took the right-hand path, and Ojo followed without asking why. At noon, they sat on a fallen tree trunk and ate the last of the bread which the old munchkin placed in his pocket. After lunch, for the rest of the afternoon, they climbed the mountain path. Then, just as it was time for dinner, they finally arrived at the home of Dr. Pip and Margaret.
Ah, you must be Dame Margaret, the good wife of Dr. Pip.
I am, my dear, and all strangers are welcome to my home.
May we see the famous magician, Madame?
He is very busy just now, but come in and let me give you something to eat, for you must have traveled far in order to get to our lonely place.
We have come from a far lonelier place than this.
A lonelier place, and in the Munchkin country? Then it must be somewhere in the deep forest.
It is, good Dame Margaret.
Dear me, you must be Uncle Nunkie, known as the Silent One, and you must be Ojo the Unlucky.
Yes.
I never knew I was called the Unlucky, but it is a really good name for me.
Well, you were unlucky to live all alone in that dismal forest, which is much worse than the forest around here. But perhaps your luck will change now you are away from it. If during your travels you can manage to lose that "un" at the beginning of your name, Unlucky, you will then become Ojo the Lucky, which will be a great improvement.
We are traveling, and we stopped at your house just to rest and refresh ourselves. I do not think Uncle Nunkie cares very much to see the famous crooked magician, but for my part, I am curious to look at such a great man.
I remember that Uncle Nunkie and my husband used to be friends many years ago, so perhaps they will be glad to meet again. My good husband is very busy, as I said, but if you will promise not to disturb him, you may come into his workshop and watch him prepare a wonderful charm.
Thank you. I would like to do that.
What?
Ah, it's the silent one, and he wants to know what I'm making. Well, when it's quite finished, this compound will be the wonderful powder of life, which no one knows how to make but myself. When it is sprinkled on anything, that thing will at once come to life, no matter what it is. It takes me several years to make this magic powder, but at this moment, I am pleased to say it is nearly done. You see, I am making it for my good wife, Margalat, who wants to use some of it for a purpose of her own. Sit down and make yourself comfortable, Uncle Nunkie, and after I've finished my work, I will talk to you.
You must know that my husband foolishly gave away all the powder of life he first made to old Mommy the Witch, who used to live in the country of the Gillikins to the north of here. Mommy gave to my husband a powder of perpetual youth in exchange for his powder of life. But she cheated him wickedly, for the powder of youth was no good and could work no magic at all.
Perhaps the powder of life couldn't either.
Yes, it is perfection. The first lot we tested on our glass cat, which not only began to live, but has lived ever since. She's somewhere around the house now.
A glass cat?
Yes, she makes a very pleasant companion, but admires herself a little more than is considered modest, and she positively refuses to catch mice. My husband made the cat some pink brains, but they proved to be too high-bred in particular for a cat.
Oh,
So she thinks it is undignified in her to catch mice.
Darn cat.
What did old Mommy the Witch do with the powder of life that your husband gave her?
She brought Jack Pumpkinhead to life. For one thing, I suppose you've heard of Jack Pumpkinhead. He's now living near the Emerald City and is a great favorite with the Princess Ozma, who rules the land of Oz.
But tell me, please, what do you intend to do with this new lot of the powder of life which Dr. Pip is making? He said you wanted it for some special purpose.
So I do. I wanted to bring my Patchwork girl to life.
A patchwork girl? What is that?
I think I must show you my Patchwork girl, for she is rather difficult to explain. But first I will tell you that for many years, I have longed for a servant to help me with the housework and to cook the meals and wash the dishes. No servant will come here because the place is so lonely and out of the way. I propose that I make a girl out of some sort of material,
I proposed.
and he would make her live by sprinkling over her the powder of life. This seemed an excellent suggestion, and at once my husband set to work to make a new batch of this magic powder. He's been at it a long, long while,
No fooling.
so I've had plenty of time to make the girl. Yet that task was not so easy as you may suppose. But finally, in searching through a chest, I came across an old patchwork quilt, which my grandmother once made when she was young. So I cut up the quilt and made from it a very well-shaped girl, which I stuffed with cotton wadding. I will show you what a good job I did.
Has she any brains?
No, I forgot all about the brains. But I'm glad you reminded me of them, for it is not too late to supply them by any means. Let me see. Of those qualities, she must have obedience, first of all. Amiability is also good, and truth. I think that will do.
little.
A little cleverness? Well, perhaps you are right, sir.
Quick, Margalat, come and help me.
Ojo, feeling sorry for the patchwork girl, added extra brains while the others were busy with Dr. Pip.
Fire be gone. That is the wonderful powder of life which I alone in the world know how to make. It has taken me nearly 6 years to prepare these precious grains of dust, but the little heap on that dish is worth the price of a kingdom, and many a king would give all he has to possess it. When it has become cooled, I will place it in a small bottle, but in the meantime, I must watch it carefully, lest a gust of wind blow it away or scatter it.
Let's see. I was about to give my girl a little cleverness, which is the doctor's substitute for intelligence. A quality he has not yet learned how to manufacture. My girl is all ready for your powder of life, my dear.
This powder must not be used before tomorrow morning, but I think it is now cool enough to be bottled. At last, I can sit down and enjoy myself. After stirring those 4 kettles for 6 years, I am glad to have a little rest.
Magic must be a very interesting study.
It truly is. In my time, I performed some magical feats that were worthy of the skill of Glinda the Good. For instance, there's the Powder of Life, and my liquid of petrification, which is contained in that bottle on the shelf yonder, by the window.
What does the liquid of petrification do?
Turns everything it touches to solid marble. It's an invention of my own, and I find it very useful. Once 2 of those dreadful Kalaidas, with bodies like bears and heads like tigers, came here from the forest to attack us. But I sprinkled some of that liquid on them, and they instantly turned to marble. I now use them as ornamental statuary in my garden.
Fine.
Dear me, what a chatterbox you're getting to be, Unc.
Let me in. Hurry up, can't you? Let me in.
Ask like a good cat, then.
Meow. There. Does that suit your Royal Highness?
Yes, that's proper cat talk.
Well, Dot Pip, do you mean to introduce us? Or not? Seems to me you're forgetting your manners.
Excuse me. This is Uncle Nunkie, the descendant of the former kings of the Munchkins, before this country became a part of the land of Oz.
Who's the dwarf?
That is not a dwarf, but a boy. You have never seen a boy before. He is now small because he is young. With more years, he will grow big and become as tall as Uncle Nunkie.
Oh, is that magic?
Yes, but it is nature's magic, which is more wonderful than any art known to man. For instance, my magic made you, and made you live, and it was a poor job because you are useless and a bother to me. But I can't make you grow. You will always be the same size and the same saucy, inconsiderate glass cat, with pink brains and a hard ruby heart.
No one can regret more than I the fact that you made me. Your world is very uninteresting. I've wandered through the gardens and in the forest till I'm tired of it all. And when I come into the house, the conversation of your fat wife and yourself bores me dreadfully.
That is because I gave you different brains from those we ourselves possess, and much too good for a cat.
Can't you take them out then and replace them with pebbles so that I won't feel above my station in life?
Perhaps so. I'll try it after I brought the Patchwork Girl to life.
We have some spare beds, so you and Unc can spend the night.
Ojo was so excited that he barely slept that night. The next day, after a good breakfast, they gathered in the lab for the incredible event.
Now then, we shall perform one of the greatest feats of magic possible to man, even in this marvelous land of Oz. In no other country could it have been done at all. I think we ought to have a little music while the Patchwork Girl comes to life. It is pleasant to reflect the first sounds her golden ears will hear will be delicious music. All ready?
All is ready. Oh, no!
Uncle Nunkie,
Margalot, please forgive me. Speak to me. Come back to life.
Of all the comic, absurd, rare, and amusing creatures the world contains, I must be the supreme freak.
Be quiet, will you? Be quiet and let me think. If I don't think, I shall go mad.
Think ahead. Think all you want to. I don't mind.
Me, but I'm tired of playing that tune. If you don't mind, Pip, old boy, I'll cut it out and take a rest.
What dreadful luck. The powder of life must have fallen on the phonograph. You were bad enough before, but a live phonograph is enough to drive every sane person in the land of Oz stark crazy.
No insults, please. You did it, my boy. Don't blame me.
You've bungled everything, Dr. Pip.
Except me.
I think it must all be my fault in some way. I'm called Ojo, the unlucky, you know.
That's nonsense, Kitty. No one can be unlucky who has the intelligence to direct his own actions. The unlucky ones are those who beg for a chance to think. Like poor Dr. Pip dear. What's the row about anyway, Mr. Magic Maker?
The liquid of petrification has accidentally fallen on my dear wife and Uncle Nunkie and turned them into marble.
Well, why don't you sprinkle some of that powder on them and bring them to life again?
Why, I hadn't thought of that. Gone, every bit gone. Wasted on that miserable phonograph when it might have saved my dear wife.
You can make more powder of life, Dr. Pip.
Yes, but it will take me 6 years. 6 long, weary years of stirring 4 kettles with both feet and both hands. 6 years, while poor Margalot stands watching me as a marble statue.
Can't anything else be done?
There is one other compound that would destroy the magic spell of the liquid of petrification and restore my wife and Uncle Nunkie to life. It may be hard to find the things I need to make this magic compound, But if they were found, I could do in an instant what would otherwise take 6 long, weary years of stirring kettles with both hands and both feet.
All right, let's find the things then. That seems a lot more sensible than those stirring times with the kettles.
That's the idea, Scraps. I'm glad to find you have decent brains. Mine are exceptionally good. You can see them work. They're pink.
Scraps? Did you call me Scraps? Is that my name?
I believe my poor wife had intended to name you Angeline.
But I like Scraps best. It fits me better, for my patchwork is all scraps and nothing else. Thank you for naming me, Miss Cat. Have you any name of your own?
I have a foolish name that Margalot once gave me, but which is quite undignified for one of my importance. She called me Bungle.
Yes, you were a sad bungle, taken all in all. I was wrong to make you as I did, for a more useless, conceited, and brittle thing never before existed.
I'm not so brittle as you think. I've been alive a good many years, for Dr. Pipt experimented on me with the first magic powder of life he had ever made. And so far, I've never broken, or cracked, or chipped any part of my body.
You seem to have a chip on your shoulder.
Tell me, what must I find to make the compound that will save Uncle Nunkie?
First, I must have a 6-leaved clover. That can only be found in the green country around the Emerald City. And 6-leaved clovers are very scarce, even there.
I'll find it for you.
The next thing is the left wing of a yellow butterfly. That color can only be found in the yellow country of the Winkies, west of the Emerald City.
I'll find it. Is that all?
Oh, no. I'll get my book of recipes and see what comes next. I must have a gill of water from a dark well.
What kind of well is that, sir?
One where the light of day never penetrates. The water must be put in a gold bottle and brought to me without any light ever reaching it.
I'll get the water from the dark well.
Then I must have 3 hairs from the tip of a woozy's tail and a drop of oil from a live man's body.
What is a woozy, please?
Some sort of animal. I've never seen one, so I can't describe it.
If I can find a woozy, I'll get the hairs from its tail. But is there ever any oil in a man's body?
Nonsense.
That's what the recipe calls for. And of course we must get everything that is called for, or the charm won't work. The book doesn't say blood, it says oil. And there must be oil somewhere in a live man's body, or the book wouldn't ask for it.
I will start on my journey at once, sir.
And I will go with you.
I'm going with Scraps and Ojo.
You can't.
Why not?
You get broken in no time, and you couldn't be a bit of use to the boy and the patchwork girl.
I beg to differ with you. 3 heads are better than 2, and my pink brains are beautiful. You can see them work.
Well, go along. You're only an annoyance anyhow, and I'm glad to get rid of you.
Thank you for nothing, then.
Here is some food and a bundle of charms. It is all I can give you, but I'm sure you will find friends on your journey who will assist you in your search. Take care of the patchwork girl and bring her safely back, for she ought to prove useful to my wife. As for the glass cat, properly named Bungle, if she bothers you, I now give you my permission to break her in 2, for she is not respectful and does not obey me. I made a mistake in giving her the pink brains, you see.
Ojo had never traveled before. After traveling a long time, they came to a little brook that trickled across the path. And here, Ojo sat down to rest and eat something from his basket.
Ah, that's magic. Dr. Pipt has enchanted the bread and cheese, so it will last me all through my journey. However much I eat, there will always be the same amount left. Be careful, or you'll fall in the water.
Never mind.
You'd better. If you get wet, you'll all be soggy and can't walk. Your clothes might run, too.
Well, don't my colors run whenever I run?
Not in the way I mean. If they get wet, the reds and the greens and yellows and purples, your patches might run into each other and become just a blur. No color at all, you know?
Well, then I'll be careful, for if I spoiled my splendid colors, I would cease to be beautiful.
Huh, such colors are not beautiful. They're ugly and in bad taste. Please notice that my body has no color at all. I'm transparent, except for my exquisite red heart and my lovely pink brains. You can see them work.
Whoop-de-doodle-doo! The cat has lost her shoe. Her tootsie's bare, but she don't care. So what's the odds to you?
Dear me, Ojo, don't you think the creature's a little bit crazy?
It may be.
If she continues her insults, I'll scratch off her suspender button eyes.
Don't quarrel, please. Let us be good comrades, and as happy and cheerful as possible.
Mercy me. Who would think such a funny harlequin lived in the land of Oz? Where did you come from, Crazy Quilt?
Do you mean me?
Of course.
You misjudge my ancestry. I'm not a crazy quilt. I'm Patchwork.
There's no difference. When my old grandmother sews such things together, she calls it a crazy quilt. But I never thought such a jumble could come to life.
It was the magic powder that did it.
Oh, then you have come from the crooked magician on the mountain. I might have known it, for... Well, I declare, here's a glass cat. But the magician will get in trouble for this. It's against the law for anybody to work magic except Glinda the Good and the Royal Wizard of Oz. If you people or things or glass spectacles or crazy quilts or whatever you are go near the Emerald City, you'll be arrested.
We're going there anyhow. If any of us takes a rest, we'll be arrested sure, and get no restitution, 'cause the rest we must endure.
I see. You're as crazy as the crazy quilt you're made of.
She really is crazy, but that isn't to be wondered at when you remember how many different things she's made of. For my part, I'm made of pure glass, except for my jewel heart and my pretty pink brains. Did you notice my brains, stranger? Do you see them work?
So I can, but I can't see that they accomplish much. A glass cat is a useless sort of thing, but a patchwork girl is really useful. Oh, she makes me laugh. And laughter is the best thing in life. There was once a wood chopper, a friend of mine, who was made all of tin, and I used to laugh every time I saw him.
A tin wood chopper? That is strange.
My friend wasn't always tin, but he was careless with his axe, and he used to chop himself very badly. Whenever he lost an arm or a leg, he had it replaced with tin. So after a while, he was all tin.
And could he chop wood then?
He could if he didn't rust his tin joints. But one day he met Dorothy in the forest and went with her to the Emerald City, where he made his fortune. And now he is one of the favorites of Princess Ozma, and she has made him the Emperor of the Winkies, the country where all is yellow.
Who is Dorothy?
A little maid who used to live in Kansas, but is now a princess of Oz. She is Ozma's best friend, they say, and lives with her in the royal palace.
Is Dorothy made of tin?
Is she patchwork like me?
No, Dorothy is flesh, just as I am. I know of only one tin person, and that is Nick Chopper, the Tin Woodsman. And there will never be but one patchwork girl, for any magician that sees you will refuse to make another one like you.
I suppose we shall see the Tin Woodman, for we are going to the country of the Winkies.
What for?
To get the left wing of a yellow butterfly.
It is a long journey, and you will go through the lonely parts of Oz and cross rivers and traverse dark forests before you get there.
Suits me all right. I'll get a chance to see the country.
Well, here is a place to get all the advice we want, maybe more than we need. Let's go in.
Come in. Good morning. Did you come to us for advice?
Why, we came anyhow, and now we are here, we may as well have some advice. It's free, isn't it?
Certainly. Advice doesn't cost anything, unless you follow it. Permit me to say, by the way, that you are the strangest lot of travelers that ever came to my shop. Judging you merely by appearances, I think you'd better talk to the foolish owl yonder.
Hooty tooty toot, fiddle come foo, howdy do, riddle come tiddle come, tooraloo.
That beats your poetry, Scraps.
It's just nonsense.
But it's good advice for the foolish. Listen to my partner and you can't go wrong.
Patchwork girl has come to life. No one's sweetheart, no one's wife. Lacking sense and loving fun, she'll be snubbed by everyone.
Quite a compliment, I declare. You are certainly a wonder, my dear, and I fancy you'd make a splendid pincushion. If you belonged to me, I'd wear smoked glasses when I looked at you.
Why?
Because you are so colorful and gaudy.
Have you noticed my pink brains? Can you see them work?
The owl hasn't given us any advice as yet.
No? Then what do you call all those sweet poems?
Just foolishness. Scraps does the same thing.
Foolishness, of course, to be sure. The foolish owl must be foolish, or she wouldn't be the foolish owl. You are very complimentary to my partner, indeed.
The sign says that you are wise. I wish you would prove it.
With great pleasure. Put me to the test, my dear Patches, and I'll prove my wisdom in the wink of an eye.
What is the best way to get to the Emerald City?
Walk.
I know, but what road shall I take?
The road of yellow bricks, of course. It leads directly to the Emerald City.
And how shall we find the road of yellow bricks?
By keeping along the path you have been following. You'll come to the yellow bricks pretty soon, and you'll know them when you see them, because they're the only yellow things in the blue country.
Thank you. At last you have told me something.
Is that the extent of your wisdom?
No, I know many other things, but they wouldn't interest you, so I'll give you a last word of advice. Move on, for the sooner you do that, the sooner you'll get to the Emerald City of Oz.
Hooty tooty tooty too! Off you go, fast or slow. Where you're going, you don't know. Patches, bungle, munchkin, lad, facing fortunes good and bad, meeting dangers grave and sad, sometimes worried, sometimes glad. Where you're going, you don't know, nor do I, but off you go. Sounds like a hint to me.
Then let's take it and go. Goodbye.
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 Their mood was cheerful, and they had traveled quite some distance, when suddenly they faced a high fence which barred any further progress.
That means that there's a woozy inside that fence, and the woozy must be a dangerous animal, or they wouldn't tell people to beware of it.
Let's keep out then. That path is outside the fence, and Mr. Woozy may have all his little forest to himself for all we care.
But one of our errands is to find a woozy. The magician wants me to get 3 hairs from the end of a woozy's tail.
This one's ugly and dangerous, or they wouldn't cage him up. Maybe we shall find another that is tame and gentle.
Perhaps there isn't any other. The sign doesn't say, beware a woozy. It says, beware the woozy, which may mean that there's only one in all the land of Oz.
Then suppose we go in and find him. Very likely if we ask him politely to let us pull 3 hairs out of the tip of his tail, he won't hurt us.
It would hurt him, I'm sure.
Oh, you needn't worry, Bungle, for if there's danger, you can climb a tree. Ojo and I are not afraid, are we, Ojo?
I am a little, but this danger must be faced if we intend to save poor Uncle Nunkie. How shall we get over the fence?
Climb? I guess the woozy is asleep. Shall I throw in a stone to waken him?
No, please don't. I'm in no hurry.
Well, well, what a strange lot you are. At first I thought some of those miserable munchkin farmers had come to annoy me, but I'm relieved to find you in their stead. It is plain to me that you are a remarkable group, as remarkable in your way as I am in mine, and so you are welcome to my domain. Nice place, isn't it? But lonesome, dreadfully lonesome.
Why did they shut you up here?
Because I eat all the honeybees which the munchkin farmers who live around here keep to make them honey.
Are you fond of eating honeybees?
Very. They are really delicious. But the farmers did not like to lose their bees, so they tried to destroy me. Of course, they couldn't do that.
Why not?
My skin is so thick and tough that nothing can get through it to hurt me. So, finding they could not destroy me, they drove me into the forest and built a fence around me. Unkind, wasn't it?
You were crazy to act so badly.
But what do you eat now?
Nothing at all. I've tried the leaves from the trees and the mosses and creeping vines, but they don't seem to suit my taste. So, there being no honeybees here, I've eaten nothing for years.
Poor thing.
You must be awful hungry. I've got some bread and cheese in my basket. Would you like that kind of food?
Give me a nibble and I'll try it. Then I can tell you better whether it is grateful to my appetite. That's mighty good. Any more?
Plenty. We have some magic bread and cheese. No matter how much you eat, there's still more.
That'll do. I'm quite full. I hope the strange food won't give me indigestion.
I hope not. It's what I eat.
Well, I must say I'm much obliged, and I'm glad you came. Is there anything I can do in return for your kindness?
You have it in your power to do me a great favor, if you will.
What is it? Name the favor and I will grant it.
I want 3 hairs from the tip of your tail.
3 hairs? Why, that's all I have, on my tail or anywhere else.
Yet I must have them. You see, my uncle has had a terrible accident, and I must gather ingredients for a magic charm.
I always keep my word, for I pride myself in being square. So you may have the 3 hairs, and you're welcome. I think under such circumstances, it would be selfish of me to refuse you.
Thank you very much. May I pull out the hairs now?
Anytime you like. What's the trouble?
It won't come.
I was afraid of that. You'll have to pull harder.
I'll help you. You pull the hair, and I'll pull you, and together we ought to get it out easily.
Wait a jiffy. All ready now. Go ahead.
Give it up. A dozen strong men couldn't pull out those hairs. I believe they're clinched on the underside of Woozy's thick skin.
Why don't you take me with you? Then, when at last you get to the magician's house, he can surely find some way to pull out those 3 hairs.
That's it. If I take the 3 hairs to the magician, it won't matter if they're still in your body.
It can't matter in the least.
Come on, then. Let us start at once. I have several other things to find, you know.
How did you get in?
We climbed over.
I can't do that. I'm a very swift runner, for I can overtake a honeybee of flies, and I can jump up very high, which is the reason they made such a tall fence to keep me in. But I can't climb at all, and I'm too big to squeeze between the bars of the fence.
Can you dig?
No, for I have no claws. My feet are quite flat on the bottom of them, nor can I gnaw away at the boards, as I have no teeth.
You're not such a terrible creature after all.
You haven't heard me growl, or you wouldn't say that. When I growl, the sound echoes like thunder all through the valleys and woodlands, and children tremble with fear, and women cover their heads with their aprons, and big men run and hide. I suppose there's nothing in the world so terrible to listen to as the growl of a woozy.
Please don't growl, then.
There's no danger of my growling, for I am not angry. Only when angry do I utter my fearful, ear-splitting, soul-shuddering growl. Also, when I'm angry, my eyes flash fire, whether I growl or not.
Real fire?
Of course, real fire. You suppose they'd flash imitation fire?
In that case, I've solved the riddle. Those fence boards are made of wood, and if the woozy stands close to the fence and lets his eyes flash fire, they might set fire to the fence and burn it up. Then he could walk away with us easily, being free.
Ah, I've never thought of that plan, or I would have been free long ago, but I cannot flash fire from my eyes unless I am very angry.
Can't you get angry about something, please?
I'll try. You just say "Crizzle Crew" to me.
Will that make you angry?
Terribly angry.
What does it mean?
I don't know. That's what makes me so angry.
Crizzle Crew.
Crizzle Crew.
Crizzle Crew.
Aha! That did the business all right. It was a happy thought for you to yell all together, for that made me as angry as I've ever been. Fine sparks, weren't they?
Regular fireworks.
We don't want to burn the whole fence down, for the flames would attract the attention of munchkin farmers, who would then come and capture the woozy again. I guess they'll be rather surprised when they find he's escaped.
So they will. When they find I'm gone, the farmers will be badly scared, for they'll expect me to eat up their honeybees, as I did before.
That reminds me that you must promise not to eat honeybees while you are in our company.
Not at all?
Not a bee. It would get us all into trouble, and we can't afford to have any more trouble than is necessary. I'll feed you all the bread and cheese you want, and that must satisfy you.
All right, I promise. And when I promise anything, you can depend on it, because I'm square.
Oh, why, they're not trees at all. They're just monstrous plants.
Why, she's gone.
Oh no! Run! Run fast, or you're lost!
Let me go, let me go. I might have expected it. I'm Ojo the Unlucky, and something dreadful was sure to happen to me. Oh, who has saved me, sir?
Can't you see? I'm the Shaggy Man.
Yes, I can see that. Was it you who rescued me from that leaf?
None other, you may be sure, but take care, or I shall have to rescue you again. You see, the music charms them. Singing or whistling, it doesn't matter which, makes them behave, and nothing else will. I always whistle as I go by them, and so they always let me alone. Today, as I went by whistling, I saw a leaf curled and knew there must be something inside it. I cut down the leaf with my knife, and out you popped.
You are very kind, and I thank you. Will you please rescue my companions also?
Stop!
What's wrong now?
See there?
Well, what of it?
That's Chiss, who causes a lot of trouble along this road.
Chiss? What is Chiss?
I think it's merely an overgrown porcupine. But here in Oz, they consider Chiss an evil spirit. He's different from the regular porcupines because he can throw his quills in any direction, which an American porcupine cannot do. That's what makes old Chiss so dangerous. If we get too near, he'll fire those quills at us and hurt us badly.
I'm not afraid. The Chiss is cowardly, I'm sure. And if it ever heard my awful, terrible, frightful growl, it would be scared stiff.
Oh, can you growl?
That is the only fierce thing about me. My growl makes an earthquake blush, and the thunder ashamed of itself. If I growled at that creature you call Chiss, it would immediately think the world had cracked in two and bumped against the sun and moon, and that would cause the monster to run as far and as fast as its legs could carry it.
In that case, you are now able to do us all a great favor. Please growl.
But you forgot. My tremendous growl would also frighten you. And if you happen to have heart disease, you might expire.
True, but we must take that risk. Being warned of what is to occur, we must try to bear the terrific noise of your growl. But Chiss won't expect it, and it will scare him away.
I'm fond of you all, and I'd hate to shock you.
Never mind.
You may be made deaf.
If so, we will forgive you.
Very well then. All ready?
Already.
All ready.
All ready.
Then cover up your ears and brace yourself firmly. Now, then, look out!
Whee! Go ahead and growl.
Why, I did growl.
What? That little squeak?
It is the most awful growl that ever was heard on land or sea, in caverns or in the sky. I wonder you stood in shock so well. Didn't you feel the ground tremble?
Poor Woos, your growl wouldn't scare a fly.
Anyhow, my eyes can flash fire, and good fire too. Good enough to set fire to a fence.
That is true. I saw it done myself. But your ferocious growl isn't as loud as the tick of a beetle, or one of Ojo snores when he's fast asleep.
Perhaps I have been mistaken about my growl. It has always sounded very fearful to me, but that may have been because it was so close to my ears.
Never mind. It is a great talent to be able to flash fire from your eyes. No one else can do that.
No! How dare you put your foot on Chiss?
I'm going to do worse than that, old boy. You have annoyed travelers on this road long enough, and now I shall put an end to you.
You can't. Nothing can kill me, as you know perfectly well.
Perhaps that is true. Seems to me I've been told before that you can't be killed. But if I let you go, what will you do?
Pick up my quills again.
And then shoot them at more travelers? No, that won't do. You must promise me to stop throwing quills at people.
I won't promise anything of the sort.
Why not?
Because it is in my nature to throw quills, and every animal must do what nature intends it to do. It isn't fair for you to blame me. If it were wrong for me to throw quills, then I wouldn't be made with quills to throw. The proper thing for you to do is to keep out of my way.
Why, there's some sense in that argument, but people who are strangers and don't know you won't be able to keep out of your way.
Makes my whiskers curl.
Tell you what, let's gather up all the quills and take them away with us, and then old Chiss won't have many left to throw at people.
Aha, that's a clever idea. You and Ojo must gather up the quills while I hold Chiss a prisoner. For if I let him go, he will get some of his quills and throw them again.
It's the meanest trick I ever heard of. How would you like it, Shaggy Man, if I took your shags away from you?
If I threw my shags and hurt people, you would be welcome to capture them.
I am Ojo the Unlucky, or we would never have met that dreadful porcupine. but I will see if I can find anything among these charms which will cure your leg.
Rub it on the holes in my patches.
The charm you need is a needle and thread, but do not worry, my dear. Those holes do not look badly at all.
They're let in the air, and I don't want people to think I'm airy or that I've been stuck up.
You were certainly stuck up until we pulled out those quills.
Well, I guess we'll stop here.
It's a good guess. Our way is barred by this great wall and gate. It looks as if no one had passed through in many years.
Looks are deceiving, and this barrier is the most deceiving thing in all Oz.
It prevents our going any further anyhow. There's no one to mind the gate and let people through, and we've no key to the padlock.
True. What shall we do, Shaggy Man? If we had wings, we might fly over the wall, but we cannot climb it, and unless we get to the Emerald City, I won't be able to find the things to restore Uncle Nunkie to life.
All very true, but I know this gate, having passed through it many times. I'll show you how. Now, you must all shut your eyes tight and keep them shut until I tell you to open them.
I can't. My eyes are buttons and they won't shut. What's the game anyhow? Blind man's bluff?
Keep quiet. All ready? Then follow me. Now you may open your eyes. That wall is what is called an optical illusion. It is quite real while you have your eyes open. But if you are not looking at it, the barrier doesn't exist at all. It's the same way with many other evils in life. They seem to exist, and yet it's all seeming and not true. You will notice that the wall, or what you thought was a wall, separates the Munchkin country from the green country that surrounds the Emerald City, which lies exactly in the center of Oz. There are 2 roads of yellow bricks through the Munchkin country, but the one we followed is the best of the 2. Dorothy once traveled the other way and met with more dangers than we did. But all our troubles are over for the present, as another day's journey will bring us to the great Emerald City.
What are you trying to find?
A 6-leaf clover.
Don't do that. It's against the law to pick a 6-leaved clover. You must wait till you get Ozma's consent.
She wouldn't know it.
Ozma knows many things. In her room is a magic picture that shows any scene in the land of Oz where strangers or travelers happen to be. She may be watching the picture of us even now and noticing everything we do.
Does she always watch the magic picture?
Not always, for she has many other things to do. But, as I said, she may be watching us this very minute.
I don't care. Ozma's only a girl.
You ought to care for Ozma if you expect to save your uncle. For if you displease our powerful ruler, your journey will surely prove a failure. Whereas, if you make a friend of Ozma, she will gladly assist you.
Here's to the hale old bale of straw that's cut from the waving grain, the sweetest sight man ever saw in forest, dell, or plain. It fills me with a crunkling joy, a straw sack to behold, for then I'd pad this lucky boy with strands of yellow gold.
Ah, here comes my friend the Scarecrow.
What? A live scarecrow?
Yes, the one I told you of. He's a splendid fellow and very intelligent. You'll like him, I'm sure. Allow me, Miss Patchwork, to present my friend, the Right Royal Scarecrow of Oz. Scarecrow, this is Miss Scraps Patches. Scraps, this is the Scarecrow. Scarecrow, Scraps. Scraps, Scarecrow.
Forgive me for staring so rudely, but you are the most beautiful sight my eyes have ever beheld.
That is a high compliment from one who is himself so beautiful. But tell me, good sir, are you not a trifle lumpy?
Yes, of course, that's my straw. You know, it bunches up sometimes, in spite of all my efforts to keep it even. Doesn't your straw ever bunch?
Oh, I'm stuffed with cotton. It never bunches, but it's inclined to pack down and make me sag.
But cotton is a high-grade stuffing. I may say it is even more stylish, not to say aristocratic, than straw. Still, it is but proper that one so entrancingly lovely should have the best stuffing there is going. I'm so glad I've met you, Miss Scraps. Introduce us again, Shaggy.
Once is enough.
Then tell me where you found her. And, dear me, what a strange cat. What are you made of? Gelatin?
pure glass. I'm much more beautiful than that Patchwork girl. I'm transparent, and Scraps isn't. I've got pink brains, and you can see 'em work. I've got a ruby heart, finely polished, while Scraps hasn't any heart at all.
No more have I. I've a friend, the Tin Woodman, who has a heart, but I find I get along pretty well without one.
Take that, you monster.
To be sure, I'll take anything I have to, but don't make me angry, you wooden beast, or my eyes will flash fire and burn you up. What a sweet disposition that creature has. I advise you to chop it up for kindling wood and use me to ride upon.
This square beast is called the Woozy, and he isn't much of importance, except that he has the 3 hairs growing on the tip of his tail.
But what makes those 3 hairs important? The Shaggy Man has thousands of hairs, but no one has ever accused him of being important.
Well, you see, it started when my uncle had a horrible accident.
We must see Ozma about this matter. That crooked magician is breaking the law by practicing magic without a license. And I'm not sure Ozma will allow him to restore your uncle to life.
I want my Uncle Nunkie, and I know he can be restored to life, and I'm gonna do it, Ozma or no Ozma.
Don't worry about that just now. Go on to the Emerald City, and when you reach it, have the Shaggy Man take you to see Dorothy. Tell her your story, and I'm sure she will help you. Dorothy is Ozma's best friend, and if you can win her to your side, your uncle is pretty safe to live again.
That's the Emerald City. Those trees behind the palace are in the royal gardens of the Princess Ozma.
Whee! That'll do it for me to live in, all right. No more of the munchkin country for these patches.
In this country, people live wherever the ruler tells them to. It wouldn't do to have everyone live in the Emerald City. You know, for some must plow the land and raise grains and fruits and vegetables, while others chop wood in the forest, or fish in the rivers, or herd sheep and the cattle.
Poor things.
I'm not sure they are not happier than the city people. There's a freedom and independence in country life that not even the Emerald City can give one. I know that lots of city people would like to get back to the land. The Scarecrow lives in the country, and so do the Tin Woodman and Jack Pumpkinhead. Yet all 3 would be welcome to live in Ozma's palace if they cared to. Too much splendor becomes tiresome, you know. But if we're to reach the Emerald City before sundown, we must hurry, for it is yet a long way off.
Halt!
Good evening, Colonel. You will observe that I have brought some strangers home with me. I'm going to take them to see Dorothy.
One moment, please. I am on duty, and I have orders to execute. Is anyone in your party named Ojo the Unlucky?
Why, that's me.
I thought so, and I am sorry to announce that it is my painful duty to arrest you.
Arrest me? What for?
You are to be arrested for willfully breaking one of the laws of Oz.
Breaking a law? Nonsense, soldier, you're joking.
Not this time. My dear child, what are you? A rummage sale or a guess me quick? In me, you hold the bodyguard of our gracious ruler, Princess Ozma, as well as the Royal Army of Oz and the police force of the Emerald City.
And only one man?
Only one, and plenty enough. In my official positions, I've had nothing to do for a good many years. So long that I began to fear I was absolutely useless. Until today, an hour ago, I was called to the presence of Her Highness Ozma of Oz and told to arrest a boy named Ojo the Unlucky, who was journeying from the Munchkin country to the Emerald City and would arrive in a short time. This command so astonished me that I nearly fainted, for it is the first time anyone has merited arrest since I can remember. You are rightly named Ojo the Unlucky, my poor boy, since you have broken a law of Oz.
But you are wrong. Ozma is wrong. You're all wrong. For Ojo has broken no law.
Then he will soon be free again. Anyone accused of crime is given a fair trial by our ruler and has every chance to prove his innocence. But just now, Ozma's orders must be obeyed.
Keep that until I get out of prison. If I never get out, take it to the Crooked Magician, to whom it belongs.
Guardian, I have here a prisoner.
Good gracious, a prisoner. Which one? Not the Shaggy Man.
No, this boy.
Ah, I hope his fault is as small as himself. But what can he have done, and what made him do it?
Can't say. All I know is that he has broken the law.
But no one ever does that.
Then he must be innocent, and soon will be released. I hope you are right, Guardian. Just now I am ordered to take him to prison. Get me a prisoner's robe from your official wardrobe.
I think I shall take you directly to Dorothy, as the Scarecrow advised, and the Glass Cat and the Woozy may come with us. Ojo must go to prison with the soldier with the whiskers, but he will be well treated, and you need not worry about him.
What will they do with him?
I cannot tell. Since I came to the land of Oz, no one has ever been arrested or imprisoned until Ojo broke the law.
Seems to me that girl ruler of yours is making a big fuss over nothing. I don't know what Ojo has done, but it couldn't be anything very bad, for you and I were here with him the whole time.
Goodness me, a prisoner at last! But what a small one, soldier.
The size doesn't matter, Tollydiggle, my dear. The fact remains that he is a prisoner, and this being the prison and you the jailer, it is my duty to place the prisoner in your charge.
True, come in then and I'll give you a receipt for him.
May I stay here a little while before I go to prison?
Why, this is your prison, and in me behold your jailer. Take off those handcuffs, soldier, for it is impossible for anyone to escape from this house.
I know that very well.
What name?
Ojo the Unlucky.
Unlucky? Ah, that accounts for it. What crime?
Breaking a law of Oz.
All right, there's your receipt, soldier. And now I'm responsible for the prisoner. I'm glad of it, for this is the first time I've ever had anything to do in my official capacity.
It's the same with me, Tollydiggle. But my task is finished, and I must go and report to Ozma that I've done my duty, like a faithful police force, a loyal army, and an honest bodyguard, as I hope I am.
Now then, I must get you some supper, for you are doubtless hungry. What would you prefer, planked whitefish, omelet with jelly, or mutton chops with gravy?
I'll take the chops, if you please.
Very well. Amuse yourself while I'm gone. I won't be long.
Is this really a prison?
Indeed it is. It is the only prison in the land of Oz.
And am I a prisoner?
Bless the child. Of course.
Then why is the prison so fine? And why are you so kind to me?
We consider a prisoner unfortunate. He is unfortunate in two ways. Because he has done something wrong, and because he is deprived of his liberty. Therefore, we should treat him kindly because of his misfortune, for otherwise he would become hard and bitter, and would not be sorry he had done wrong. Ozma thinks that the one who has committed a fault did so because he was not strong and brave. Therefore, she puts him in prison to make him strong and brave. When that is accomplished, he is no longer a prisoner, but a good and loyal citizen, and everyone is glad that he is now strong enough to resist doing wrong. You see, it is kindness that makes one strong and brave, and so we are kind to our prisoners.
I had an idea that prisoners were always treated harshly, to punish them.
That would be dreadful! Isn't one punished enough knowing he has done wrong? Don't you wish, Ojo, with all your heart, that you had not been disobedient and broken a law of Oz?
I hate to be different from other people.
Yes, one likes to be respected as highly as his neighbors are. But now we have talked enough.
Miss Dorothy, the Shaggy Man would like to see you.
All right, tell him to come right up.
But he has some strange creatures with him, some of the strangest I've ever laid eyes on.
Never mind, let 'em all come up. You're a new one to me. I can't imagine where you've come from. Who, me? Oh, I came from a bed quilt, I guess. But my name is Scraps, and now you know all about me. Not quite all. I wish you'd tell me how you came to be alive. Oh, that's an easy job. Margalat made me out of an old bed quilt she didn't use. Cotton stuffing, suspender button eyes, red velvet tongue. The Crooked Magician made a powder of life, sprinkled me with it, and here I am. I'm sorry to hear all this about the Crooked Magician. Ozma will be mad as hops when she hears that he's been doing magic again. She told him not to. He only practices magic for the benefit of his own family. Dear me, I haven't noticed you before. Are you glass or what? I'm glass, and transparent too.
which is more than can be said of some folks. Also, I have some lovely pink brains. You can see them work.
What do you know about the crooked magician who lives on the mountain?
You see, Ojo's uncle has had a terrible accident.
What do you suppose that Ojo's done to cause him to get arrested?
I fear he has picked a 6-leaf clover. I did not see him do it, and I warned him that to do so was against the law.
I'm sorry about that. For now, there will be no one to help his poor uncle and Margalot.
What will become of the Munchkin boy?
I don't know. Ozma will see him about it, of course, and then she'll punish him. But how, I don't know, 'cause no one's ever been punished in Oz since I knew anything about the place. Too bad, Shaggy Man, isn't it?
I wouldn't care to help Ojo's uncle, but I will help Ojo. He did not break the law. No one can prove he did, and that green-whiskered soldier had no right to arrest him.
Ozma ordered the boy's arrest, and of course she knew what she was doing. But if you can prove Ojo is innocent, then they will set him free at once.
They'll have to prove him guilty, won't they?
I suppose so.
Well, they can't do that.
Will you take the woozy to a room and give him what he likes best to eat?
That's honeybees.
You can't eat honeybees, but you'll be given something just as nice. Will you give the glass cat a room as well? I'd like Scraps to stay with me tonight.
Dorothy left to spend the rest of the evening with her friends. Once alone, Scraps found the clover in the basket and hid it so that Ojo wouldn't be blamed. The very next day, Ozma convened a royal hearing about the matter.
Hello, Ojo. How are you?
All right.
One of the laws of Oz forbids anyone to pick a 6-leaved clover. You are accused of having broken this law, even after you had been warned not to do so.
All this fuss is about nothing at all. You can't prove he picked a 6-leaf clover, so you've no right to accuse him of it. Search him if you like, but you won't find the clover. Look in his basket and you'll find it's not there. He hasn't got it, so I demand that you set this poor Munchkin boy free.
So the clover hasn't been picked, eh? I think it has. I think the boy hid it in his basket and then gave the basket to you. I also think you dropped the clover into this vase, which stood in the Princess Dorothy's room, hoping to get rid of it so you would not prove the boy guilty. You're a stranger here, Miss Patches, and so you don't know that nothing can be hidden from our powerful ruler's magic picture, nor from the watchful eyes of the humble Wizard of Oz. Look, all of you.
Oh, so you found it. Very well. Prove he picked it if you can.
Did you pick the 6-leaved clover?
Yes, I knew it was against the law, but I wanted to save Uncle Nunkie, and I was afraid if I asked your consent to pick it, you would refuse me.
What caused you to think that?
Why, it seemed to me a foolish law, unjust and unreasonable. Even now, I see no harm in picking a 6-leaf clover, and I had not seen the Emerald City then, nor you, and I thought a girl who would make such a silly law would not be likely to help anyone in trouble.
I suppose a good many laws seem foolish to those people who do not understand them, but no law is ever made without some purpose, and that purpose is usually to protect all the people and guard their welfare. As you are a stranger, I will explain this law, which to you seems so foolish. Years ago, there were many witches and magicians in the land of Oz, and one of the things they often used in making their magic charms and transformations was a 6-leaved clover. These witches and magicians caused so much trouble among my people, often using their powers for evil rather than good, that I decided to forbid anyone to practice magic or sorcery except Glinda the Good and her assistant, the Wizard of Oz, both of whom I can trust to use their arts only to benefit my people and to make them happier. Since I issued that law, the land of Oz has been far more peaceful and quiet, but I learned that some of the witches and magicians were still practicing magic on the sly and using the 6-leaved clovers to make their potions and charms. Therefore, I made another law, forbidding anyone from plucking a 6-leaved clover or from gathering other plants and herbs which the witches boil in their kettles to work magic with. That has almost put an end to the wicked sorcery in our land. So you see, the law was not a foolish one, but wise and just. And in any event, it is wrong to disobey a law.
I am sorry. I have acted wrongly and broken your law. I did it to save Uncle Nunkie, and I thought I would not be found out. But I am guilty of this act, and whatever punishment you think I deserve, I will suffer willingly.
You are forgiven, for although you have committed a serious fault, you are now penitent, and I think you have been punished enough. Soldier, release Ojo, the lucky, and...
I beg your pardon. I'm Ojo the unlucky.
At this moment, you are lucky. Release him, soldier, and let him go free. This royal audience is now at an end. Will you sit down and tell me your whole story?
Well, it started when my uncle had a serious accident.
The crooked magician was wrong to make the glass cat and the patchwork girl, for it was against the law, and if he had not unlawfully kept the bottle of liquid of petrification standing on his shelf, the accident to his wife Margolot and to Uncle Nunkie could not have occurred. I can understand, however, that Ojo, who loves his uncle, will be unhappy unless he can save him. Also, I feel it is wrong to leave those two victims standing as marble statues when they ought to be alive. So I propose we allow Dr. Pip to make the magic charm which will save them, and that we assist Ojo to find the things he is seeking. What do you think, wizard?
That is perhaps the best thing to do, but after the crooked magician has restored those poor people to life, you must take away his magic powers.
I will.
May I go with Ojo to help him?
If you wish to.
If Dorothy goes, then I must go to take care of her. A dark well can only be discovered in some out-of-the-way place, and there may be dangers there.
You have my permission to accompany Dorothy, and while you are gone, I will take care of the Patchwork Girl.
I'll take care of myself, for I'm going with the Scarecrow and Dorothy. I promised Ojo to help him find the things he wants, and I'll stick to my promise.
Very well, but I see no need for Ojo to take the glass cat and the woozy.
I prefer to remain here. I've nearly been nicked half a dozen times already, and if they're going into dangers, it's best for me to keep away from them. Let Jillia Jam keep her till Ojo returns. We won't need to take the woozy either, but he ought to be saved because of the 3 hairs on his tail.
Better take me along. My eyes can flash fire, you know, and I can growl a little.
I'm sure you'll be safer here.
The next morning, they continued on their journey. A day's walk brought them to the home of Jack Pumpkinhead, which Jack had made from the shell of an immense pumpkin and was very proud of.
Welcome, friends. Please come in and spend the night if you wish.
You are quite handsome, but not as really beautiful as the Scarecrow.
There is no accounting for tastes. An old crow once told me I was very fascinating, but of course the bird might have been mistaken. Yet I have noticed that crows usually avoid the Scarecrow, who is a very honest fellow in his way, but stuffed. I am not stuffed. You will observe my body is good, solid hickory.
I adore stuffing.
Well, as for that, my head is stuffed with pumpkin seeds. I use them for brains. And when they are fresh, I am intellectual. Just now, I regret to say, my seeds are rattling a bit, so I must soon get another head.
Oh, do you change your head?
To be sure. Pumpkins are not permanent, more's the pity, and in time they spoil. That is why I grow such a great field of pumpkins, that I may select a new head whenever necessary.
Who carves the faces on them?
I do that myself. I lift off my old head, place it on a table before me, and use the face for a pattern to go by. Sometimes the faces I carve are better than others, more expressive and more cheerful, you know, but I think they average very well. We're looking for a dark well. Do you know where to find one? That is going to be a difficult task, and if I were you, I'd take an ordinary well and enclose it so as to make it dark. I fear that wouldn't do. The well must be naturally dark, and the water must never have seen the light of day, for otherwise the magic charm might not work at all. This is a flat country, so you won't find any dark wells here. You must go into the mountains, where rocks and caverns are.
And where is that?
In the Quadling country, which lies south of here, I've known all along that we must go to the mountains.
So have I.
But, goodness me, the Quadling country is full of dangers. I've never been there myself, but I have. I've faced the dreadful hammerheads, which have no arms and butt you like a goat. And I've faced the fighting trees, which bend down their branches to pound and whip you, and had many other adventures there.
It's a wild country, and if we go there, we're sure to have troubles of our own. But I guess we'll have to go if we want that gill of water from the dark well.
Toward the evening of the second day, they reached a sandy plain where walking was difficult. but in the distance before them they saw a group of mountains that the Scarecrow knew contained many caves.
That's going to be a terrible hard climb, Scarecrow. I wish we could find the dark well without so much trouble.
Suppose you wait here and let me do the climbing. For it's on my account we're searching for the dark well. Then if I don't find anything, I'll come back and join you.
No, we'll all go together, for that way we can help each other. If you went alone, something might happen to you, Ojo.
This must be the road to the country of the Hoppers.
Who are the Hoppers?
Some people Jack Pumpkinhead told me about. He told me that the Hoppers and the Horners live on this mountain.
Didn't he say what the Hoppers and Horners were like?
No, he only said they were two separate nations, and that the Horners were the most important.
Well, if we go to their country, we'll find out all about them. But I've never heard Ozma mention those people, so they can't be very important.
Is this mountain in the land of Oz?
Of course it is. It's in the south country of the Quadlings. When one comes to the edge of Oz in any direction, there is nothing more to be seen at all. Once you could see sandy desert all around Oz, but now it's different, and no other people can see us any more than we can see them.
If the mountain is under Ozma's rule, why doesn't she know about the Hoppers and the Horners?
Why, it's a fairyland, and lots of strange people live in places so tucked away that those in the Emerald City never even hear of them. In the middle of the country, it's different, but when you get around those edges, you're sure to run into strange little corners that surprise you. I know, for I've traveled in Oz a good deal, and so has the Scarecrow.
Yes, I've been considerable of a traveler in my time, and I like to explore strange places. I find I learn much more by traveling than by staying at home.
The party followed the winding trail through the mountains for several hours. It was hard to navigate in several places. After many hours of tedious work, it finally seemed to come to a dead end.
There wouldn't be a path if it didn't go somewhere.
This is somewhere, isn't it? The path is locked, the way is blocked. Yet here we've innocently flocked. And now we're here, we've shed a tear, that there's no front door that can be knocked.
Please don't, Scraps. You make me nervous.
Well, I'm glad of a little rest. Why, that's where the path goes to.
So it is. But the question is, do we want to go where the path does?
It's underground, right inside the mountain. Perhaps there's a well there. And if there is, it's sure to be a dark one.
Do you surrender?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Am I captured?
Of course, my dog has captured you.
Well, if I'm captured, I must surrender, for it's the proper thing to do. I like to do everything proper, for it saves one a lot of trouble.
It does indeed. Please tell us who you are.
I'm Hip Hopper the champion.
Champion what?
Champion wrestler. I'm a very strong man, and that ferocious animal which you are so kindly holding is the first living thing that has ever conquered me.
And you are a hopper?
Yes, my people live in a great city not far from here. Would you like to visit it?
I'm not sure. Have you any dark wells in your city?
I think not. We have wells, you know, but they're all well lighted. And a well-lighted well cannot well be a dark well. But there may be such a thing as a very dark well in the Horner country, which is a black spot on the face of the earth.
Where is the Horner country?
The other side of the mountain. There's a fence between the Hopper country and the Horner country, and a gate in the fence. But you can't pass through just now, because we are at war with the Horners.
That's too bad. What seems to be the trouble?
Why, one of them made a very insulting remark about my people. He said we were lacking in understanding because we had only one leg to a person. I can't see that legs have anything to do with understanding things. The Horners each have 2 legs, just as you have. That's one leg too many, it seems to me.
No, it's just the right number.
You've only 1 head and 1 body, and 1 nose and mouth. 2 legs are quite unnecessary, and they spoil one's shape.
But how can you walk with only 1 leg?
Walk? Who wants to walk? Walking is a terribly awkward way to travel. I hop, and so do all my people. It's so much more graceful and agreeable than walking.
I don't agree with you, but tell me, is there any way to get to the Horner country without going through the city of the Hoppers?
Yes, there's another path from the rocky lowlands outside of the mountain that leads straight to the entrance of the Horner country. But it's a long way around, so you'd better come with me. Perhaps they will allow you to go through the gate, but but we expect to conquer them this afternoon, if we get time. And then you may go and come as you please.
All hail, champion! Whom have you captured?
No one. These strangers have captured me.
Then we will rescue you and capture them, for we are greater in number.
No, I can't allow it. I've surrendered, and it isn't polite to capture those you surrender to.
Never mind that. We will give you your liberty and set you free.
Really?
Yes, your people may need you to help conquer the Horners.
What weapons do you fight with?
We have no weapons. Whenever we fight the Horners, our plan is to push them back, for our arms are longer than theirs.
Then you are better armed.
Yes, but they have those terrible horns, and unless we are careful, they prick us with the points. That makes a war with them dangerous, and a dangerous war cannot be a pleasant one.
I see very clearly that you are going to have trouble in conquering those Horners unless we help you. How far is it to the Horner country?
Why, it's just the other side of the fence.
Can't we go through?
Not now.
I think that if I could talk with those Horners, they would apologize to you, and then there would be no need to fight.
Can't you talk from this side?
Not so well. Do you suppose you could throw me over that fence? It is high, but I'm very light.
We can try it. I am perhaps the strongest man in my country, so I'll undertake to do the throwing, but I won't promise you will land on your feet.
No matter about that. Just toss me over and I'll be satisfied. Great, picket duty.
Are you hurt?
Of course not, but if he wiggles that way, he may tear his clothes. How can we get him down, Mr. Champion?
I don't know. If he could scare Horners as well as he does crows, it might be a good idea to leave him there.
This is terrible. I suppose it's because I'm Ozma the Unlucky that everyone who tries to help me gets into trouble.
Don't worry, we'll rescue the Scarecrow somehow.
I know how. Here, Mr. Champion, just throw me up to the Scarecrow. I'm nearly as light as he is, and when I'm on top the fence, I'll pull our friend off the picket and toss him down to you.
All right.
What's your hurry? Who are you, unknown being?
Scraps?
And where did you come from?
Over the fence. Don't be silly. There's no other place I could have come from.
You're not a hopper, for you have 2 legs. They're not very well shaped, but they are 2 in number. And that strange creature on top of the fence? Why doesn't he stop kicking? Must be your brother or father or son, for he also has 2 legs.
You must have been to visit the wise donkey. But that reminds me, Captain, or King.
I am the chief of the Horners, and my name is Jack.
Of course, little Jack Horner. I might have known it. But the reason I volplaned over the fence was so I could have a talk with you about the hoppers.
What about the hoppers?
You've insulted them, and you'd better beg their pardon. If you don't, they'll probably hop over here and conquer you.
We're not afraid, as long as the gate is locked. And we didn't insult them at all. One of us made a joke that stupid hopper couldn't see.
What was the joke?
A Horner said they have less understanding than we, because they've only 1 leg. You see the point, don't you? If you stand on your legs, and your legs are under you, then then your legs are your understanding. Oh, my, but that's a fine joke. And the stupid hoppers couldn't see it. They couldn't see that with only 1 leg, they must have less understanding than we have with 2 legs.
Then their understanding of the understanding you meant led to the misunderstanding.
Exactly. So there's no need for us to apologize.
No need for an apology, perhaps, but much need for an explanation. You don't want war, do you?
Not if we can help it. The question is, who's going to explain the joke to the hoppers? You know it spoils any joke to be obliged to explain it. And this is the best joke I have ever heard.
Who made the joke?
Dixie Horner. He is working in the mines just now, but he'll be home before long. Suppose we wait and talk to him about it? Maybe he'll be willing to explain his joke to the hoppers.
All right, I'll wait, if Dixie isn't too long.
No, he's short. He's shorter than I am. Say, that's a better joke than Dixie's. He won't be too long, because he's short. Come with me to my dwelling, and I'll introduce you to my daughters. We're bringing them up according to the book of rules that was written by one of our leading old bachelors, and everyone says they're a remarkable lot of girls.
You have a beautiful home. What type of metal is everything made out of?
That's glitterite. We Horners spend all our time digging glitterite from the mines under this mountain.
Why don't you use it on your streets then, and outside of your houses to make them as pretty as they are within?
Outside? Who cares about the outside of anything? We Horners don't live on the outside of our houses. We live inside. Many people are like those stupid hoppers who love to make an outside show. I suppose you strangers thought their city more beautiful than ours because you judged from appearances, and they have handsome marble houses and marble streets. But if you entered one of their stiff dwellings, you would find it bare and uncomfortable, as all their show is on the outside. They have an idea that what is not seen by others is not important. But with us, the rooms we live in are our chief delight and care.
Seems to me it would be better to make it all pretty, inside and out.
Seams? Why, you're all seams, my girl. These are my sweet daughters. My dears, I introduce to you Miss Scraps Patchwork, a lady who is traveling in foreign parts to increase her store of wisdom. What's up, Chief? That wonderful joke that you made wasn't understood by the hoppers, so we need you to explain it to them. That way, we can avoid a terrible battle. All right, I'll go at once to the fence and explain. I don't want any war with hoppers, for wars between nations always cause hard feelings. My good hoppers, I wish to explain what I said about you was a joke. You have but one leg each, and we have two legs each. Our legs are under us, whether one or two, and we stand on them. So, when I said you had less understanding than we, I did not mean that you had less understanding, you understand, but that you had less stand-undering, so to speak. You understand that?
I'll tell you where the joke comes in. Those neighbors of yours are not very bright, poor things, and what they think is a joke isn't a joke at all. It's true, don't you see?
True that we have less understanding?
Yes, it's true because you don't understand such a poor joke. If you did, you'd be no wiser than they are.
Ah, yes, of course.
So I'll tell you what to do. Laugh at their poor joke and tell them it was pretty good for a Horner. Then they won't dare say you have less understanding because you understand as much as they do.
I think it is dangerous to think of this thing any more than we can help. Let us do as this girl says and laugh with the Horners, so as to make them believe we see the joke. Then there will be peace again, and no need to fight. That's a fine joke, for a Horner, and we are much pleased with it. But please, don't do it again.
I won't, but if I think of another such joke, I'll try to forget it. Good. The war is over and peace is declared.
Can you think of a way to get the scarecrow down?
A ladder's the thing.
Have you one?
To be sure, we use ladders in our mines.
Much obliged. I feel much better. I'm not stuck on that picket anymore. Is there much of a hole in my back?
There's quite a hole, but I've got a needle and thread in the knapsack and I'll sew you up again.
Do so, please.
One of his legs is ripped too.
Oh, that's bad. Give him the needle and thread and let him mend his ways.
What's funny?
Don't you see? That's a joke. It's by odds the best joke I ever made. You walk with your legs, and so that's the way you walk, and your legs are your ways, see? So, when you mend your legs, you mend your ways. I had no idea I could make such a fine joke. Just wonderful. How did you manage to do that, Dixie? I don't know. Perhaps it's the glitterite, but I'd rather think it's my splendid intellect.
If you don't quit it, there'll be a worse war than the one you've escaped from.
Is there a dark well in any part of your country?
A dark well? None that I've ever heard of. Oh, yes. There's a very dark well down in my glitterite mine.
Is there any water in it?
Can't say. I've never looked to see, but we can find out.
There, you're as good as new.
Still, I prefer not to do picket duty again. High life doesn't seem to agree with my constitution.
Here is a mine in which lies the dark well you are seeking. Follow me and step carefully, and I'll lead you to the place. You won't lose your way, though. There's only one way to go. The mine's mine, and I know every step of the way. How's that for a joke, eh? The mine's mine. Now, I will show you where the dark well is. This is a big place, but if we hold fast to each other, we won't get lost. Be careful. The well is at your feet.
All right. Where's the gold flask, Dorothy? All right. Now we can go back.
With Dixie's help, they were soon back outside the mountain, where they planned their route.
Now I think we must find the road to the country of the Winkies, for there is where Ojo wants to go next.
Is there such a road?
I don't know. I suppose we can go back the way we came to Jack Pumpkinhead's house and then turn into the Winky country. But that seems like running round a haystack, doesn't it?
Yes. What is the next thing Ojo must get?
A yellow butterfly.
That means the Winky country, all right, for it's the yellow country of Oz. I think, Scarecrow, we ought to take him to the Tin Woodman, for he's the emperor of the Winkies and will help us find what Ojo wants.
Of course. The Tin Woodman will do anything we ask him, for he's one of my dearest friends. I believe we can take a cross-cut into his country and so get to his castle a day sooner than if we travel back the way we came.
I think so, too, and that means we must keep to the left.
They were quite happy about their progress until they came to a broad river.
This is strange. Why should there be any road if the river stops everyone from walking along it?
That's the best answer you'll get, for no one knows any more than Toto about this road.
Every time I see a river, I have chills that make me shiver, for I never can forget all the water's very wet.
Try to control yourself, Scraps. You're getting crazy again. No one intends to swim that river.
No, we couldn't swim it if we tried. It's too big a river and the water moves awful fast.
There ought to be a ferryman with a boat, but I don't see any.
Could we make a raft?
There's nothing to make one of. Why, he sees a house over there. I wonder we didn't notice it ourselves. Let's go ask the people how to get across the river.
Do you live here, my good man?
I think I do, most mighty magician. But whether I'm awake or dreaming, I can't be positive. So I'm not sure where I live. If you'll kindly pinch me, I'll find out all about it.
You're awake, and this is no magician, but just the Scarecrow.
But he's alive, and he oughtn't be, you know?
Never mind all that. Tell us, good Quadling, how we can get across the river.
I don't know.
Don't you ever cross it?
Never.
That's strange. Don't you own a boat, nor a raft?
Where does this river go to?
That way. It goes into the country of the Winkies, which is ruled by the Tin Emperor, who must be a mighty magician because he's all made of tin, and yet he's alive. And that way, the river runs between two mountains where dangerous people dwell.
The current flows toward the Winky country, and so if we had a boat or a raft, the river would float us there more quickly and more easily than we could walk.
Why can't the man make us a raft?
I'm too lazy. My wife says I'm the laziest man in all Oz, and she is a truthful woman. I hate work of any kind, and making a raft is hard work.
I've got some square meal tablets. Each one is the same as a dish of soup, a fried fish, a mutton pot pie, lobster salad, charlotte russe, and lemon jelly, all made into one little tablet that you can swallow without trouble.
Without trouble? Then those tablets would be fine for a lazy man. It's such hard work to chew when you eat.
I'll give you 6 of those tablets if you'll help us make a raft.
I'll do it. I'll help, and you can do most of the work.
There were a number of logs along the side of the house, and Ojo found some tools to fasten them together. It took so long to make the raft that evening came just as it was finished, and with evening, the Quadling's wife returned.
What have you been up to? Why have you been using the things we need on these strangers?
It's all right. My name is Dorothy, and I'm a princess of Oz and a friend of Ozma's. When we get back to the Emerald City, I'll see that you're sent enough to replace this, including the clothesline.
I think I overworked myself by chopping too many logs.
Never mind about that. Here, I'll let you have 2 more tablets than I promised.
All right.
Following morning, they cast off and waved goodbye to the Quadling and his wife, and for several hours after that, they floated down the river.
It won't take us long to get to the Winky country at this rate.
Don't you think we ought to land?
Pretty soon. The Tin Woodman's castle is in the southern part of the Winky country, and so it can't be a great way from here.
Let's hold you on our shoulders, so you can see better.
There it is! There it is!
What?
The Tin Woodman's tin castle. I can see its turrets glittering in the sun. It's quite a way off, but we'd better land as quickly as we can.
They let him down and began to drift toward the shore. In the distance, they could see the silvery sheen of the tin castle.
How beautiful they are! But we must be careful not to crush or injure any of the lilies.
Why not?
The Tin Woodman is very kind-hearted, and he hates to see any living thing hurt in any way.
Hello, the Umbro will be happy to see you. Come on in.
The Tin Man greeted them and asked with great curiosity about their journey.
Well, this began when Ojo's uncle had a terrible accident.
I must have a drop of oil from a live man's body.
What in the world were you doing?
I caught a drop of oil that fell from your knee joint.
A drop of oil? Dear me, how careless my valet must have been in oiling me this morning. I'm afraid I'm going to have to scold the fellow, for I can't be dropping oil wherever I go.
Never mind, Ojo seems glad to have the oil for some reason.
Yes, I am glad, for one of the things the Crooked Magician sent me to get was a drop of oil from a live man's body. I had no idea at first that there was any such a thing, but it's now safe in the little crystal vial.
You are very welcome to it indeed. Have you now secured all the things you were in search of?
Not quite all. There were 5 things I had to get, and I found 4 of them. I have the 3 hairs in the tip of a woozy's tail, a 6-leaf clover, a gill of water from a dark well, and a drop of oil from a live man's body.
Good. I congratulate you. But what is the 5th and last thing you need in order to complete the magic charm?
The left wing of a yellow butterfly.
Surely you are joking.
No, I'm in earnest.
But do you think for a moment that I would permit you or anyone else to pull the left wing from a yellow butterfly?
Why not, sir?
Why not? You ask me why not? It would be cruel. One of the most cruel and heartless deeds I've ever heard of. The butterflies are among the prettiest of all created things, and they are very sensitive to pain. To tear a wing from one would cause it exquisite torture, and it would soon die in great agony. I would not permit such a wicked deed under any circumstances.
Unless I get the wing, just one left wing, I can't save Uncle Nunkie.
Then he must remain a marble statue forever.
Then what in the world shall we do?
We must all go back to the Emerald City and ask Ozma's advice. She's a wise little girl, and she may find a way to help Ojo save his Uncle Nunkie.
So the following morning, the party started on the journey toward the Emerald City. It was a sad journey for Ojo, who now, without the butterfly's wing, saw no way to save his uncle.
Is anything hurting you?
I'm Ojo the Unlucky. I might have known I would fail in anything I tried to do.
Why are you Ojo the Unlucky?
Because I was born on Friday.
Friday is not unlucky. It's just one of 7 days. Do you suppose all the world becomes unlucky 1/7 of the time?
It was the 13th day.
13. Ah, that is indeed a lucky number. All my good luck seems to happen on the 13th.
13's my lucky number, too.
But I'm left-handed.
Many of our greatest men are that way.
And I have a warp under my right arm.
How lucky. If it were on the end of your nose, it might be unlucky. But under your arm, it is luckily out of the way.
For all those reasons, I've been called Ojo the Unlucky.
Then we must turn over a new leaf and call you henceforth Ojo the Lucky. Every reason you have given is absurd.
We were able to get everything but the wing of a yellow butterfly. The Tin Woodman wouldn't allow it because he feels it would be cruel.
He is quite right. Had Ojo told me that one of the things he sought was the wing of a yellow butterfly, I would have informed him before he started out that he could never secure it. Then you would have been saved the troubles and annoyances of your long journey.
I didn't mind the journey at all. It was fun.
As it turned out, I can never get the things the Crooked Magician sent me for. And so, unless I wait the 6 years for him to make the powder of life, Uncle Nunkie cannot be saved.
Dr. Pip will make no more powder of life, I promise you. I have sent for him and had him brought to this palace, where he now is, and his 4 kettles have been destroyed and his book of recipes burned up. I have also had brought here the marble statues of your uncle at Margolot, which are standing in the next room.
Oh, let me see Uncle Nunkie. Let me see him at once, please.
Wait a moment, for I have something more to say. Nothing that happens in the land of Oz escapes the notice of our wise sorceress, Glinda the Good. She knew all about the magic making of Dr. Pip, Glinda also knew that Ojo would fail to find all the things he sought, so she sent for our wizard and instructed him what to do. Something is going to happen in this palace presently, and that something will, I'm sure, please you all. And now you may follow me into the next room.
I did my best, Unc, but it was no use.
Ladies and gentlemen and beasts, I beg to announce that our gracious ruler has permitted me to obey the commands of the great sorceress, Glinda the Good, whose humble assistant I am proud to be. We have discovered that the crooked magician has been indulging in his magical arts contrary to law, and therefore, by royal edict, I hereby deprive him of all power to work magic in the future. He is no longer a crooked magician, but a simple munchkin. He is no longer even crooked, but a man like other men.
My goodness.
The glass cat, which Dr. Pipt lawlessly made, is a pretty cat, but its pink brains made it so conceited that it was a disagreeable companion to everyone. So the other day I took away the pink brains and replaced them with transparent ones, and now the glass cat is so modest and well-behaved that Ozma has decided to keep her in the palace as a pet.
I thank you.
The woozy has proved himself a good woozy and a faithful friend, so we will send him to the royal menagerie, where he will have good care and plenty to eat all his life.
Much obliged.
As for the Patchwork Girl, she is so remarkable in appearance and so clever and good-tempered that our gracious ruler intends to preserve her carefully as one of the curiosities of the curious land of Oz. Scraps may live in the palace, or wherever she pleases, and be nobody's servant but her own.
That's all right.
We have all been interested in Ojo, because his love for his unfortunate uncle has led him bravely to face all sorts of dangers in order that he might rescue him. The Munchkin boy has a loyal and generous heart, and has done his best to restore Uncle Nunkie to life. He has failed. But there are others more powerful than the crooked magician, and there are more ways than Dr. Pipt knew of to destroy the charm of the liquid of petrification. Glinda the Good has told me of one way, and you shall now learn how great is the knowledge and power of our peerless sorceress.
Thanks.
My darling.
I love you, Nunkie.
Love you too.
I have given to you, my dear Ojo and Uncle Nunkie, a nice house just outside the walls of the Emerald City, and there you shall make your future home and be under my protection.
Didn't I say you were Ojo the Lucky?
Yes, and it is true.
Well, no hairs were pulled, no butterflies were killed, and once again we have a happy ending. Two families were reunited and everyone was happy. Dorothy and her friends went on to have many more wonderful adventures, which, with great hope and anticipation, it may someday be our tremendous privilege to bring to you.